I'm not gonna lie, we might be going from one of the, like, shortest fucking meetings, being the last one that was like 48 minutes, to one of the fucking longest. Actually, I managed to smash together a few of these topics, but when I look at them on my little, like, notes thing, which is a notepad document because I'm extremely advanced, it doesn't actually look that much, but I'm sure there'll be some spicy ones that'll take up some time. So, John and cock is fucking censored. I don't know if that's like automatically censored or if that's just like a Doug TeamSpeak thing. All right, we have Desync, we have Joe, and we did have some things asked of our beloved admin staff team thing. So hopefully they can provide some insight. I've got my notes thing all nice and ready. I'm actually going to save this as CM17825 notes. Okay. I guess let's get this shit fucking rolling. I've already tested all my audio and stuff, so if something breaks, I will cry, but at least I'm taking notes now. Alright, I'll give people some time to... I need to set myself back off of push to talk. Failed to synchronize. How unfortunate. Fuck off. I'll give it a couple of minutes before we get underway. Let people filter in. If anyone's, if this is the first one that anyone's coming to, I would recommend that you swiftly go into the self section and disable your sound pack, at least for this first bit, because you're just going to be getting a constant barrage of user has joined your channel. User has joined your channel. There are a few topics that have popped up, though. Quite a quick return between the meetings. Actually, it might be exactly a month since the last one, or very close to it, at the very least. That's the best bit. Well, far be it from me to kink shame anyone. I'll give my usual spiel when we properly get underway. Just give it another minute or so. I'm already seeing some people here that have actually, like, submitted topics, so that's good. It's not just going to be me talking all the time. People can actually elaborate on the things they've said. I've knocked a couple of the topics together so we can just tackle them at once, which are both relating to the whole AI thing that's been going around. I did get sent, like, a thing by Blake because Blake does not reckon that he'll be able to make it. Because I think he's on, like, a train or something right now. I don't know. Okay. Well, for anyone that's not been to one of these fucking things before, basically, I will, or the person that's presenting it will present their topic, and then the floor will be open for people to speak. If people are already speaking, or if you're just an eager fucking beaver, put a Q. Lowercase, uppercase, I don't care. and I will try and keep on top of the queues. Speaking of, I should probably make like a little section for it temporarily in my notes. That works. Anyway, I guess we can just go through this as people. We'll do the topics that have their hosts here first and foremost, and that way if like we've got a latecomer and they appear, then we can just have them present their topic then. Speaking of latecomers, there's Doc, who I think has posted a topic. Yeah. Anyway, first topic that I think we have here, with the presenter being here, is I think a relatively simple one actually. It's from John Hancock. So I suppose if you'd like to take the floor, though I feel like it doesn't really require much elaboration at the very least.
Yeah, I was just hoping to get a topic going on expanding merchandise, like maybe getting hats or just something like that. Nothing huge.
I suppose that would be mostly a thing for either the staff team or I don't really know who runs the whole Doug merch shop thing, but I presume it's like staff run.
I'm not sure who exactly runs it. I think Diesel, maybe.
Well, I guess we can use
Can you guys hear me?
this. Yeah, we can hear you. Or I can at least.
I'm trying to talk. I think it's an issue with Teespring itself in terms of certain limitations of what we can add for it. I believe it comes down to purchase amounts. I think that's why we finally got the mugs and the glass added. As well as that Matt has his own little store that is Doug supported, I suppose, for options. We've also had some people complaining about, unfortunately, with Creator Spring, some of the quality, unfortunately. So we may have to look in the future switching to a different provider if we want something like hats and whatnot, because that will be, especially if they'll be embroidered or something, that's very expensive.
So they limit how much stuff you can list unless you get like a certain amount of purchases, or
as far as I'm aware, yes.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so that makes sense. So it would just be something like later on after more merchandise gets bought.
That, or we would have to switch providers more than likely. Because even then, on our website for Creator Spring, you'll look at the drinkware, for instance. From what I've been told, even though there's a picture that shows you how it should look, the people who are purchasing it are getting different results, which is disappointing.
Alright, I've got all that noted down. Alright, here I was gonna say, like, oh, maybe we could use this as like a way that people could start throwing out suggestions for new merch products. I mean, I guess we still could, but if there's like a kind of a limit on how much you can list until more things are bought, then
I mean, I would also be down with like a Livonia shirt, though, also with your guys' logo and everything. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. I don't think we'd get in trouble for that.
Nice.
And it's a big enough size, it shouldn't cause issues. Yeah, you can add that, I think. Do you guys like the logo? Is it good?
Oh yeah, I like the log logo. Very excited to play on log, though we've got a topic specifically talking about log later.
Well, we're to get that away right now.
Doug Faction patches as merch. I think on Matt's store there's like flags, but I don't think there's patches. But patches would be pretty fucking cool.
I believe patches, again, because of the stuff that is the materials and the process or the manpower. I don't know if it would be hand done or machine done, but those usually, especially nowadays, the price will be really jacked up. So if you're willing to spend at the very least $30, probably those could be done. I think stickers would probably be a better alternative.
Well, those are some
Go
ideas.
vandalize your local town with Doug merchandise.
I will say I do think patches would be pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending $3 or $4 for a patch.
I think he said like 30
Oh,
bucks was going to be where it
30.
would sit.
Patches are.
Eh,
really
that still
expensive.
wouldn't be that bad. $30 wouldn't be too bad.
That's not counting shipping as well.
Yeah.
I think there was an idea that we were talking internally about Zippo lighters. But
No,
that would be
that
going
would
through
get
the
behind.
Zippo company itself, because apparently they do laser engravings for stuff, and then we were thinking about potentially sending them out to users as like a giveaway for a contest potentially.
That would be awesome.
It just comes down to I don't think every country is covered, so we'd have to put a disclaimer saying that like, hey, only these countries are eligible. If you are not in those countries, we'll just find an alternative equal value to give to you.
That sounds pretty fucking cool. Zippo lighters are cool. Engraved Zippo lighters are even cooler.
Doug logo, or it'd probably be like a faction logo, depending on who wins or whatever. Doug would
Yeah,
probably
I would
just
definitely be down to buy a clown Zippo lighter. Be kind of cool.
Okay, Doug logo or faction logo, got that. Anything else anyone wants to say on this topic? Other suggestions? Because if not, then we can move on to our next one, which is two topics that have been kind of slammed together. And they are from Scary Carrie and Tommy from FL. I guess the first one was from Scary Carrie, but I don't know if Carrie is here. If not, then I guess we can tackle Tommy's one first, which was the more recent one as well, I guess, so it might be more present in memory. So if you'd like to take it away.
So it's just basically to talk about the amount of AI content that is being posted in the recruitment channel and the Reddit, and maybe the admins can tell us like how much AI is allowed, or maybe we could put a stop to it, because it's pretty sad to see people using AI to use it when we should be pushing for more player created content if possible.
Vale has said that they're looking at it. I guess I want to also weigh in as well and just say that, especially with how the example that we want our groups and factions to set in the server, it just feels a little cheap seeing a lot of them using like AI for all that. Oh, Joe, I'll let you speak. And then Flux is next.
Decent can go before me if he wants. It's not urgent.
apparently don't exist.
Oh, yeah,
Anymore.
go ahead, Decent.
I'm just of the opinion that we should be holding our community to a higher standard, and seeing AI generated content being held to the same candle as our users making their own work. It's very disappointing to see, and I hope that the team can just make a quick redaction to the rule and just make a hard stance of no, and give those users who are making that content that is AI generated just 1 week to preserve whatever is actually made by themselves. Because we don't just want to like nuke their stuff, I think, because there is probably some stuff they have made by themselves. And as well as that, I think we've pushed folks here recently to make original stuff themselves, and they looked very good. I think that there's a lot of folks here who are very talented, who are holding themselves back potentially, or they're just, as they've said, they are lazy for X reason. I know we can all be better, so let's strive to be better.
Go ahead now, Joe.
So Vale said we're going to look at the rule, and I can't make any promises or projections about how that's going to go. But I wanted to explain how we moderate it now, because there seems to be some confusion. We don't want to see any piece of content on Doug that is majority created by AI. That's how the rule already is. And I'm aware that's been misphrased as majority written rather than majority created on the assumption that we're dealing with a story. But we really mean that in a holistic sense. So if you're posting an image to the subreddit and that image was created by ChatGPT, we're going to remove it. And I don't care if you wrote the text on that image. If you're posting something that the visual content of it is 100% generated by AI, we're going to remove that. And it's the same thing with writing. Like, you know, if you're copy pasting something from ChatGPT, we're going to remove it. It's that simple. That's already how the rules are. And if you feel like those rules aren't being implemented properly, if you see some piece of content where you think that's probably AI created, report it. That's simple. So we'll think about where it can go from here. We might make it more strict, we might not, but that's how it works already. And if you've got an issue with something that's been put out, please do tell us.
Flux is next in queue.
Yeah, I agree with all the points made. No content should be made by AI, and it's not very difficult to make a logo with either Canva or just like there are many tutorials on how to do stuff online. It's not that difficult where you have to just put this prompt into AI and do it. There's no need. I also think it should either be like that AI rule like Joe was talking about, or what Desync said, and there's just no AI at all. That's sense, I guess.
John Hancock is next.
I was just kind of gonna point out, like, really kind of like what Wisp said about the logos. There has been like a lot of, or I feel like a lot of AI generated photos in there for like group logos. So I don't know how you got, but I also don't know how you would crack down on that either.
I should say detection is not the issue. We're not having issues detecting AI, as far as I can tell. The issue is where we want to intervene and where we don't.
Just noting that down as well. Also true. I think if you look at like a group recruitment post and you see that they've got some like AI generated banner, logo, whatever, it could probably give people like leave a bad taste in people's mouths because there's quite a lot of like anti-AI sentiment for good reason on the internet. So, does anyone else have anything else they'd like to say? In relation to this, I should say. I think we've basically covered both of these sort of topics, because we've kind of touched upon like the rule, and we've touched upon the more recent post specifically about Doug group recruitment. We've also kind of talked about
Wisp, I should say that, you know, we're not going to hold some random person making a group recruitment post to the same standard as we'll hold an official group or faction at the moment. So, you know, if I see some AI image in a group recruitment thread, I'm not that worried about it. If I see official groups and factions posting majority AI submissions, then I'm more likely to remove that at the moment.
I actually want to take a quick look in group recruitment right now and see what the hell awaits. Can actually find the fucking channel. Jesus Christ, there it is. It's
The
muted.
first three
Yeah.
are AI, and then
Oh god. Yeah.
there's another one.
I guess I'll just pull this over.
I'm
so
seeing over 20 current recruitment posts that are using AI.
Yeah, I counted 8 and got bored.
Sweet fucking Jesus.
And the problem is that it's being held alongside other groups that, like, you see the ORCC logo, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would also be confused by, is that AI? Even though we know that was a genuine art piece by a member of the community, as well as there's even an animated version of that too.
Yeah, I think the point here has been made. So I think we can move on to the next topic. Dear fucking lord. Okay, next topic. Do we have a British Paul? Yes, we do. If you'd like to go ahead with your topic, Paul, then by all means.
Hello, yeah. So my suggestion is not for some kind of hard barrier, but I just noticed that there've been a lot of instances lately that it seemed of groups prematurely advertising themselves, and it seems like in some instances hadn't. It felt like they haven't even played on the server very much, i.e., claiming territories that groups that have been there for years, or describing something they're going to do, feeling that they're unique, but this is already being done. And it just I get the sense that it's more of a case of have a look at the map, see that there's nobody in there according to the map, so I'm claiming that. And also, it just feels like a lot of these groups aren't actually, just aren't actually playing for very long. And I'm not saying that it should be a hard barrier, but maybe just some guidelines to, like, play for a little while, get a feel for the server and the environment and the current meta, and then make your group. That was really it, really. To open it up to what you guys think.
Curious if anyone else has been noticing this trend since Paul has mentioned it. Go ahead, Flux.
Yeah, I wanted to say kind of the idea that people will join the Discord and probably just hop in the server once and not even run around for a day and go across the whole map, and then they're like, okay, I'm just gonna AI an idea, or the first idea that pops in their head they're putting in the recruitment post. And I believe one of the needed things to make a group is obviously to get an official group is you have to have a certain amount of members or a member leader, because you need access to the Reddit. But maybe to make a group recruitment post, you can you have to be a member to post in there. And it's not like getting members, it's not that difficult. Play for a bit, and you can get member pretty easily. Your mindset is right, so that could also just push back some of the clutter in there, and there will be actual groups who are active.
So just to double check, the proposal is that only orange names could post in Dug Group Recruitment.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I don't think there should be that kind of barrier. More of a time limit. Like, you've played on the server for a month. I don't think being whitelisted is necessary, but I just I get the feeling with some of the recent groups that they haven't really played on the server at all. Sometimes, just from the example I gave, like claiming territories that have been with groups for like 5 or 6 years or even longer, and things like that. I just think, there's nothing wrong with unofficial groups and people new to server creating groups, whitelisted or not, but maybe just have a bit of an understanding of how the environment works first.
Anyone else have anything that they'd... Oh, cooldown period for new Discord members. Some of the recruitment posts were made 3 days after they first joined. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying, and you can feel that from some of the posts. Like, it's obvious. Like, Yeah, that's Kaya. Says that was the obvious one.
Ooh, I'll put that in the notes then.
I mean, that was a clear example of not playing on the server because, Golden Peppers have been there years, and all of a sudden this group wants to claim the whole territory. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, but do that in game. If you want to overtake a territory, go there and do it before you claim it.
There's another one here called the Oathbound. The guy who posted it is no longer in the Discord, but still his Discord server link is linked. Like that post can just go.
Yeah, that can just get yeeted.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on it, really.
Right. Well, I think we've got quite a lot. I've got quite a lot down here in the bloody notes, but does anyone have anything else they'd like to say on this topic?
I think it's probably just more of a question of how do you encourage people to play on the server before making essentially like just popping up and saying, "Well, we're a group now, and this is what we do."
It's a carrot and stick situation from a staff perspective. You've either got to offer them some incentive to do that, like tangible incentive, or you've got to prevent them from doing the opposite. Those are the only two options.
Right.
So I mean, I think all of this discussion is good spirited, and I see where it's all coming from. But as a staff member, I'm struggling to see how any of this translates into any tangible action.
I think you're right. Like, who are we to say you can't come on here and form a group?
Well, I
Another
mean, we
point,
could
right?
say that, or we could incentivize people to wait somehow. But right now, where the discussion is ending now, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, so I was thinking of a suggestion of say, you can't make a group until you've played on the server for insert arbitrary time frame here.
And
whether it's a month
how
or
would we implement that? How would
I
we
don't
prevent
know.
people from creating a group?
Well,
I
we
don't
could
think you
stop them
can.
from making a post in recruitment. They can still make a group in game if they
Okay.
want.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we could prevent people from creating a post in there for a certain amount of time. But this is important. We need to crystallize exactly what action you want taken.
Well, that's the issue that we're talking about. Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're flooding this channel with recruitment and they're not
But yeah,
either they're brand new or they're
the
not doing
conversation
anything
was
with it.
about to end, and we didn't have any
I did. I said put a
action plan.
cooldown.
But just to be clear, I'm not suggesting that there should be a barrier to making groups. There's nothing wrong with people jumping on a server with 3 mates, first day forming their own little group and expanding it from there. It's more about the Doug recruitment post.
Well, yeah,
That's
we wouldn't be able to litigate that even if we wanted to.
It's more about the recruitment post. I think you can form your group, be unofficial as you like, but before you make the official post, I think you need to have some sense of how the environment works and who lives where and what's going on.
I think it's just more in the spirit of encouraging people to do that rather than do exactly that, Paul, rather than like policing it in a way, because that's going to turn them away.
Mm.
Or they'll leave on their own.
Is it possible that you can just set like this user cannot post in this channel until they have been in here for 30 days or something, or is that not something that's...
I'm not sure if that's a vanilla feature, but it's something we could try.
I'm pretty sure you can do
But
it.
I'm not sure you can do a cooldown. You can add a slow mode to a channel, but slow modes apply once you've sent a message. They don't apply when you join the server.
No, when you join a server, there are cooldown options, but
Okay.
that is you can restrict it.
Okay, that's good then.
But to begin with, it seems like just real quick, if we had somebody with moderator rooms just to go through the channel and just clean up some of the spam, that'd be awesome.
Well, define spam.
Oathbound open. It's posted. It's purely AI. There's a link to the guy's Discord, and the guy has left the Doug Discord. is this group still active? I mean, I guess
I
you would
just
have to know
found it.
more than I
It's
would.
over 30 days ago. I've deleted it for you.
Well, if it would be, especially if it would be able to be something implemented it is done automatically, and then like the restriction lifts when you've been in their server for a month. I think that could help sort things out a little bit. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that, like, maybe, I don't know, they see like a video on Doug and they're like, oh shit, this server looks really cool, we should head over and like make a group, like we did this group on this other server, like, but we should claim this town that we were living in before. But
And that's this kind of sense I'm getting, and that's what's happening fairly often.
probably best to put like some, I mean, I guess you could put it in like FAQ or something, just have like something about groups, but who the hell knows if they'd actually fucking read it.
No. If we can put something that's just automatic in place, that's, I think, the only solution you'll have that works.
Twisted Tea about the whole members being the only ones allowed to make and post a group. That was brought up earlier, but I think the conclusion is that people that aren't members should, if they have like a genuinely like good group idea that they're passionate about, like kind of gating them out of it just by them not being an orange name could be kind of grim. Because then that group idea could then see them grow and flourish like a nice blooming flower, and I don't know, something like that.
And on top of that, whatever they get from that experience, they could use on their whitelist application.
Exactly. One would argue that letting them go through with their little idea and then build their group up from the ground up could lead to them getting whitelisted, because it would give them a lot of experience on the server and opportunities to push and participate in stories that they maybe wouldn't have been able to do as a solo. But yeah. Also encouraging people to recruit in-game rather than just being like, yo, add me up on Discord, bro. Which obviously, like, I'm definitely not saying like get rid of like community recruitment, group recruitment and servers, because like it's both an in-game and out-of-game commitment either way, but organic recruitment is very cool.
I mean, the only alternative I could think of is that you can look at people's profiles now, which is kind of cool, and you can see when they first joined a specific Discord. Maybe just a soft rule of, hey, if we notice that your post on the group recruitment is less than 30 days of you joining, it'll be removed.
That could also work too. Go ahead, Flux.
I think if I think Joe was talking about how the staff standpoint, that's just so manual, like having to go through every new recruitment post and seeing how long that profile has been in the Discord for is a lot more tedious, and maybe figuring out a way to implement that time restriction on that profile has to be in the Discord instead of going through every single one. Like there's just a hard restriction on the recruitment post. I'm not exactly sure how that would be implemented, like if that's vanilla or whatnot to Discord, but I'm sure there's some way to figure that out and implement it.
Well, do we have any other statements on this? Because I think we actually do. We've got some ideas for a solution that I suppose can be looked into, and some guidelines to put in place. Harvey, go ahead.
Forgive me if I missed some stuff. I had to step away. But the issue, what new groups taking over places that maybe they're not aware of or whatever. I'm not sure that's really that big of an issue. You deal with it in game. If somebody moves into your territory, you deal with it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, that's for sure. I'm talking more about the recruitment post, though. It seems like, so if you do that, right, that's great. If you want to take over a group that's been there for years, go and do it, Like, see how it works out. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. It seems, my point was more that a lot of the time, the examples I'm talking about, it seems like they haven't even played on the server yet, or very little. They haven't even been to that area yet, and no actions have been taken in game. It's more of a case of, well, look, let's hit Doug map. Well, that hasn't got a stamp on it, so I'm claiming that without actually being there.
Yeah, which is certainly a bad idea on their part. I'm sure, depending on where they decide to move into. But I mean, I don't see a point in stymieing even bad decision making. Let's say.
Yeah, I'm talking about more about the actual group recruitment bit. So it's like, because we got getting a lot of
The
spam in
Discord
there.
channel.
Yeah, the Discord channel. So
Sure.
do what you like in game, try that. But before you actually make your actual recruitment post, there should be some kind of, I think, time limit of how long you've played on the server, so you understand what's going on, rather than just first day, I'm claiming this, and you haven't even got your group yet, you haven't even got your members yet. It's but for sure, there should be no restriction on trying to kick somebody out of their territory, no matter how long they've been there. That's the organic nature of it, right? We're free to do what we like in that regard.
Yeah, I think the later point then, if it's something that has to be manually checked every time, I think that's burdensome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should maybe be added to the group and faction requirement pin that's in there. Like, hey, maybe rethink this if you're only here for 2 days.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was. I mean, I don't know how these things work, but I kind of assumed it would have been fairly easy to just put like you can't post in this channel until you've been here X amount of days or something like that. But I don't know how it works. So.
Yes, that is. But the problem is that this is a threads format, so Discord might not have the functionality for that.
I see.
But other channels, they're default, and some even go as far as to require your account to have a phone number. Otherwise, you can't post at all.
Can we go ahead and have it where you have to read some type of guidelines prior to posting the recruitment thread and have it? I know Discord has a way for you to not post if you haven't acknowledged rules or acknowledged something through emojis. Is that an option for the thread channel?
I don't think so, but I know we have a sort of because that was an old way of proving people. So I guess we could probably do that, but I know Discord has its own official version now where you have to scroll through stuff and then click OK, and then you're given the access to the Discord.
And kind of my thing is what kind of Harvey said is I don't want to be burdensome, but at the same time I kind of agree with Paul that I think there's a lot of just and it doesn't need to be. We don't need to make more barriers to entry, I guess. What we need to do is just have some type of guidelines posted maybe that say, hey, if you want to do a group recruitment post, these are the things that we're looking for, and have it clearly outlined and kind of self-police on the community's end is what we do from that point, I think.
All right, do we have anything else we'd like to say on this?
No, I'm done.
All right. If we're done with this topic, then we can move on to the next one, which was proposed by Dr. Desync.
This is very off the cuff, I guess, based on one of the recent events. One thing I had noticed while watching Matt's stream is that there were folks who were looking to attend the event. What their importance was for the event, I'm not aware of. But hearing that folks were getting stuck in queue while there was possibly a good portion of folks not attending that event, just out playing the game, I understand that that's perfectly A-okay. but I'm under the impression that depending on what the event is, if the event hosts would like to, they should be able to reach out to staff, and depending on staff's review of the event, give the okay of attaching a password for the duration of said event until it's concluded.
Go ahead, Joe.
My understanding is that we would probably do this if asked. Maybe not enough people know that, but I think if we got a reasonable request for an event whitelist, we'd probably do it.
Go ahead, Paul.
I'll just say I really don't like that idea because pretty organic nature of how it works. So, some groups just, if they want to stay true to their in characterness, and then they won't attend these groups, these events, or maybe they don't want to. And I just.
But should they be able to take up a slot in place of somebody who wants to attend the event?
Good question. Why not? Why should they be excluded to play just because there's an event going on that doesn't involve them?
That's a wonderful question. Because there always could be something that happens, and as well as locking an event could also stop a group who wants to potentially attack said event, which that is also a problem that could arise from locking it.
That is
Because
also a
then
really good point.
You have unlocked, especially if there's like an unlocked passworded event, and then suddenly that event gets attacked. I can see that also being causing some issues.
I think that any event involving more than half of the server is probably bloated, realistically. I say we'd probably grant this if there was a reasonable request. I don't know what a reasonable request would look like. I'd have to take that on a case-by-case basis.
Harvey, go ahead.
I tend to agree with Paul there. I think making it somewhat exclusive and eliminating the ability for certain people to get involved who maybe have different ideas is a bad direction to go on. More than that, I mean, it should be up to the people sorting these events to make sure they're scheduling it at a time to let people snipe that queue. That's probably the most reliable way to get in if you have prio, or if you don't have prio, and just do some forward planning if you want to be there.
John Hancock is next.
I see both sides of it, but like with Desync said, I tried to join the Scalisti party. That happened like a week ago, and even with Prio, took me 2-3 hours just to get in, and I missed the invite. So I see it both ways.
I guess it really would just depend on like the context of the event, but go ahead, Brazel.
So I kind of agree with Paul and Harvey on this. I think one of the bigger issues is that priority queue takes care of a lot of these problems, and if you just can't get on, it's just I don't want to say it sucks, but that's just kind of how it is. You can snipe the queue a little bit better, and I think this really affects whitelisted people for the most part. And I don't think putting up passwords to make something even more exclusive is a good idea, honestly. And I'll just kind of agree with that.
Yo, Emma, straight.
Just adding to the notes, and I can't type and talk at the same time. Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Go ahead, Alex.
I don't have anything like meaningful to add per se here, but I will say, like, as someone who runs a group that has like a good majority of my members who aren't whitelisted, our experience like going to events is like, we get to that restart prior to the event, and then half my group is locked out from going, so we just end up not going. And I think completely locking the server to like, at least we still have the possibility, right? And I think depriving that of people that, at least that I run with, that do want to eventually be members of the server. Like, granted, we haven't been able to go as a group just because of what's happened, but I think it's a good thing that they still have the prospect of, hey, like, when we get to that event, like, it'll be a good time. And it's also like events are good places to meet people and really get the full experience of the server too. So I think that's good for non-waitlist members as well.
I think, as opposed to having a specific password on the server for the event, maybe for some events we whitelist the server. I think that would at least be a bit better, but obviously then that has its own downsides of then if you're not an orange name, then you're not attending the event. It's got like a bit of a double-edged sword, but that would also mean that any other groups that are composed of, or other people that are members could actually just come out and attack. But also, yeah, restarts are... Ooh, oh, so you need a restart. Ooh. Go ahead, Tommy.
You're not just password party like we used to. You know, you lock the server, have a password, and then people can share the password.
Yeah, that was more or less the idea.
Yeah,
Because like when I look at something like this Glisty Island Luau, to me that's more so out of character than it is in character. Sure, you play your characters, but it's just meant to be a fun evening for folks.
Yeah.
So to me, if staff are willing, as long as the event makes sense for it, sign a password on and share it for folks.
What if...
At the end of the day, it's like what, 2 hours, 4 hours, and then it doesn't have to be a scheduled restart. Just at the end of the event, go into the remote and change the password again.
That's what I was actually just thinking, what if you bring down the server, change the password, make sure that the people that want to attend the event can all get in, and then once they're all in, then you release the password, and then everyone else can just fill up the server or whatever. So you've got your
Not
people
how it
that
works. You
your
need a
event
restart.
your event attendee. Well, restart the server, change password.
Well, then they're not in the server.
He's saying give it to the people who
Yeah,
need it first.
give it to
and
the people
then
that
give
need it
out to everyone
first, and then once
I
all the
see
people
what
that
you're
need to
saying,
come
yeah.
in are in, then you can just like be like, okay, hello, this is the password in the announcements channel or
It
whatever.
seems like a lot.
Yeah,
You
it kind of
know?
is.
It's a lot, but we have the people who are there to do it.
It's again, it probably would just really depend on what kind of event. Like if it was kind of more of like an OC like fun time event, like that Scalisty Island party thing, then like yeah, I could see that being a fun thing to do, just to like make sure that like people that are going to the event can like, I don't know, fucking sign up for it. They get given the password, they get on, they start making their way in.
Maybe I'm not the right person to convince on this, because I feel like the line between IC and OOC and events gets blurred very, very often.
Yeah.
If you're going to have an out-of-character event, people really shouldn't be attending it as their characters. Does that really make sense, you know? And vice versa. If you showed up as, if I showed up as Joe from Nottingham to an in-character event, that wouldn't really make sense, would it?
I would fucking love you to be there. I would love for a member of FL to be at an event for once.
I think
Even if
if
you guys are
it's
just going to be there to be
in-game,
like
it's in
dickheads or
character,
something.
as
We want it.
Harvey said, you know.
Lots of interesting solutions being proposed here. Well, do we have anything else we'd like to add to this topic? Because I think we have a few ideas floating around, but we've not got really a concise point to end on, I guess. Though, I feel like with events, it's always going to be a little bit like, it'll just depend on the specifics of the event. And I suppose if you do that whole, like, restart, put password out, let event people get in, then unleash the unwashed masses, then you'd at least also have time for them to sort of get underway with the event, so it doesn't just get, like, boom, boom, blown up immediately. Though I imagine most groups that are targeting events will be considerate anyway. Yes, events.
This one would be a little controversial.
Ooh.
If it came down to it for a locked event, if somebody's in there and they're just being a body instead of an event member, we do have that ability to kick them from the server. If there is a major queue and that slot would be taken up by somebody else who's actually willing to attend.
Yeah, one of my cats has showed up. Haven't you, Azula? She's only vocal when she wants to be. Anyway. Oh yeah, this definitely shouldn't be put in for just like every event. It shouldn't be used like willy-nilly. I think realistically it would be only be used for like really big ones, or I don't even know how you'd classify an event as like needing this or deserving of this. Anyway, if we would like to move on to the next topic. The next one I've got on my list is from Gretchen, but I don't know if Gretchen is here. I think also known as Cotton Balls. Okay, do we have any other people that are actually here to present their bloody topics? Do we have a Greg? I think not. Do we have a Riker? We do not. I think we have a Doc / Sarge.
You missed Tommy's post up above line.
We covered that. We knocked both of the AI posts together.
No, this is a different one.
It's a different
Is
one.
it? Oh shit.
You got your glasses on, pal?
Yes.
We figured them all
Oh
out.
shit! Yeah, I did miss yours. Okay, go ahead. Well, go ahead with your this topic then. Fucking hell! I need to make a whole new category for it as well.
So, I propose a implementation of a soft rule about posting in the Discord about in-game events that have happened shouldn't happen in the Discord until after a week. I feel like it will help other people in game find out in game what has happened about the situation and find out themselves instead of finding out in Discord minutes or hours after it's happened. For example, a few weeks ago, we had the event where the cult killed a bunch of people. It was a cool event, apparently. Lots of people died. People had fun. Brilliant. But within an hour or so, it was posted in Discord, and everyone who didn't know about it in game knew about it out of game. And let's be honest, once you read something, it's very hard to forget. Yes, you cannot act upon it in game, but knowing at the back of your head that it's happened, it's pretty tough to be able to roleplay properly, yeah? So I just think maybe a rule about not posting after a week after the event should be put in, maybe?
I think that does sound like a pretty solid idea. An update to the meta rule. Also true, yes. Being able to foig like it's way better when you like hear about something in fucking game as opposed to, oh, I saw this post on Discord by the way and they did this.
Yes, 7 days, Matt.
I had asked prior about a character element to the channel, and I was told it wasn't possible. However, I know we have something similar to like emoji spam protection. Would just, if a post was like over 100 characters, it just gets flagged and removed.
Yes, you do have an emoji spam protection thing, because I remember the first time I posted my little disclaimer thing, because I had like 3 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down, it got flagged and deleted.
Not everyone watches streams, Dodge. And when people are like, oh, just mute the channel. Why should I have to mute the channel? I shouldn't have to.
Your streams are a little bit...
Streams are off the Doug platform.
Yeah, they're off the Doug platform, so like you're voluntarily getting in on that. If like that's like something you're opting into by clicking on someone that's streaming Doug, so obviously you'd be expected to respect that and not post about that, yeah.
Definitely remember learning my lesson. I clicked on a YouTube recommended live stream for Doug, and I was in the middle of a major interaction on that stream, and I went, "Oh, that's wonderful." But again, it's not their fault.
No, I agree with you, Joe. But members of the community should also think about the meta rule and not posting about in-game events instantly, no matter if it's a shout out or it's basically you might as well just post a story.
What I'm
instantly.
saying to you is that where possible, we remove these comments.
No, I know,
But you know, we can only remove them so fast. And if you're worried about seeing things like shout outs that are going to contain meta information, we're not going to be able to catch them in time that you don't see them every single time.
No,
so the
I'm
safe
not
thing to do is
saying-
just mute the channel.
I'm not saying that you're going to get it instantly, but I think the community should be aware about posting stuff instantly. They just shouldn't do it.
Please don't extend this to those people that get very angry in Doug General and post "fuck you" at NWAF when you kill them. Please at least leave them around for a bit because they're really funny.
God bless
Also,
you.
I would like to hear from the people that downvoted it. You know, there's some people in here that did downvote the suggestion. I would like to hear, you know, the argument for it.
I did downvote it, but I retracted it because I remember that was not the way you do about it on the community memes channel, so I apologize. But I do agree with Joe that the Doug Shoutout channel, I find it strange. That's just again, my own personal opinion that someone would read through each individual shoutout. I only ever look at that channel personally if I ever get an ad from someone, or if I'm told by somebody else, "Hey, take a look at this. Somebody said some good stuff about us."
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I mean, for me, I look at my Doug Discord and every single channel is muted, minus like 2. To me, it's not a big issue muting something and then only caring about it if somebody directly adds you. It's a low effort channel meant to just breed positivity. It's a win-win for everybody. But if somebody is taking it so far, again, I look at the cult massacre thing as an outlier incident that is unfortunate, but that sometimes happens.
Yeah, I feel like this is stemming quite a bit from the shoutouts channel, so I think that should definitely be established of, hey, if you're giving shoutouts, don't be specific about what you're shouting them out for, because we don't need to know, oh, thank you for a really tense interaction with our hated enemy. I can't wait to go to war with, to double cross this ally of ours. Smile, smile.
I think people also use it as a chance to message them in one-off situations. Like I look at Nemanja Rook Radusalv. I can't pronounce that last name. Anyways, he messages like a Merriman explaining some stuff, and he mentions he has clips saved and he wants to go back over it. That sounds like, again, an invitation potentially something in the future, or for that person to look out in the future for something that features them.
When was that one? I'm curious now.
That was yesterday at 6:55 p.m. Central.
Not about you, Doc. Don't you worry.
I haven't played in a week.
Also true, T. I feel events should not be shouted out. Small interactions, just go shout out, insert Duggar for the interaction. No less, no more. Simples.
Well, yeah, that's why the channel's here. It's meant to be sort of a spam channel to be nice to one another. Some people, they're brand new to Doug and Daisy as a whole, and somebody saying like, "Hey, at Harvey, thanks for the fish," that genuinely means the world to them in comparison to possibly your experiences, because you have a trillion of them.
Harvey giving food to people? Yeah, my immersion's broken. Anyway, do we have anyone else that would like to speak on this topic? If not, then we can move ski on ski to our. Oh god, one of my cats just like fucking. Oh no, okay, she's killing a fucking butterfly. Okay. I think our next topic that we were going to discuss was Sarges. Sorry again, Tommy, for missing your topic. I think in my head, I mixed up. I
It's
saw
fine.
like your AI one and was like, oh yeah, that's what he's posted, and then blanked the other one out.
Miss Rikers.
I remember this.
That
Your
in-game.
actions will be remembered.
You also miss Greg's.
Is Greg here now? I'm going through them in like the order of like the people that are here, and then I'll swing around to the other ones.
Sounds good.
Well, I guess my topic was, read it out quick. Discuss what the longer term members can do to encourage newer groups and existing groups to take the long term, quote unquote, into consideration more with stories. I do personally feel like Magic of Doug, through its larger, overarching, meaningful stories, has been a little bit more diluted as of late, with smaller scale, back and forth squabbles, shooty, rating, back and forth, that kind of stuff. And, thinking back, even like 2 years ago, there was these, think like the cult right now, like their big story that they just pushed. And, that was something that everybody kind of got to feel like not they were directly a part of, but that it affected everybody in some way. And it seems to me like you don't see that out of a lot of groups, old existing ones or newer ones, like you did 3, however many years ago. Like when I first got into Doug, that was one of the main catching points for.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know what the solution there is, or what the causality. I don't know. I'm just really just trying to put it out there to get a little bit more thoughts from the rest of the community here. Maybe their opinions or what they see. If maybe this isn't an issue and I'm just seeing shadows. I don't know. But, gladly let everybody else talk instead of me.
Well, what do we think about this? Anyone have anything they'd like to say on the magic of Doug the Doug stories being somewhat diluted? Got a cue from Wisp. Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, I would say something that I think both smaller and larger groups could think about is when it comes to saying retaliation after a raid, is how can we make this into a larger story? I see a lot of groups opt for the fast and quick approach of we'll just raid them back, that's it, or we'll just engage in denial of RP, KOS them anytime you see them. And I just think it doesn't really lead anywhere. That's not really an effort being made there to try to pursue a dynamic or a storyline. It's just reactionary, and that kind of stuff tends to fizzle out and doesn't really make for something compelling or that other groups could want to get involved in.
Go ahead, Desync.
I can't really think off the top of my head in terms of major stories that are ongoing or have been like concluded at least in the past couple years. However, I wouldn't expect from the community at the same time to have multiple ongoing long stories that involve major factions because that just kind of really convolutes everything. But if folks are just resorting to KOSing a person the moment they see them and calling that a victory, my hope is that we can push those folks to potentially do better. At the very least, go for a holdup hostage to take those people, torture them, do whatever you want. But my thought is, yeah, if you're going to snuff out the interaction, you're only hurting yourself more so than them.
I got completely fucking distracted because of Hep. Alex, you're next in queue.
Good. Yeah, we had a point where we pushed a little bit of a story there and really wanted to kind of go down that avenue, and the retaliation was kind of just like the way it happened and the things that transpired afterwards. It kind of just like made the story dead to us, like from our perspective, because it's like there's no way we could effectively do anything without any crazy OOC thing, and then it just kind of gets disappointing when stuff like that happens. Just because we did put out a huge story. I had a whole plan thing where I was telling people about an in-game radio broadcast, and then we get counter rated and they purposely take our field transceiver, and it's like, all right, well, that's done, so the story's over. And then that's kind of just my perspective personally on that.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I would like T just to an example of what he said in the chat about smaller groups having issues getting stories due to the bigger groups trying to gain faction status. I'm not really aware of that happening.
I think I saw that offhandedly too, but I wasn't sure the context specifically. So I guess
Context would be good.
Yeah, if T wants to give like a bit of a like write up or such similar, then we can go through that. Or unless you want to use your words.
I mean, I can. So I know I'm not part of a group now, but when I was, I kind of got told that it's better towards faction status interacting with other factions. And I believe that kind of cuts out the smaller groups that are just entering the server, making it more difficult. I don't know how true that was. That's just
Not
kind of my
true.
understanding.
Yeah. Who
Not
told you
true
that?
at all.
Don't the factions like vote on it though for
No.
faction
No,
status?
not at all.
Okay. I just misunderstood what they told me. then. My bad.
We ask current factions for feedback, but that is by no means the be all and end all.
Okay. Yeah, when I heard that they questioned other factions, that kind of made me feel in a way, if you only interact with the factions of the server, if you get that bump from them, that might help out, which kind of I feel is counterintuitive for anybody that wants to get bigger in the server in a way or contribute more.
Time a group applies for faction, I put hours into reviewing them. And one of the things we do is we ask current factions what their experience are with that group. But that is only one small part of the puzzle for sure.
I was just wondering, perhaps there could be a way where kind of reach out into the community, into the smaller groups, even see if they interact with anybody, like even like people that only have group status, see if they interacted with this group that applied for faction.
Well, you need
if
to
that
come
could
up
help
with a
out in
good
way.
methodical way to do that. And
Yep.
that needs to consider the fact that you may be asking people who are biased for or against the group that you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. That was my mistake. Apologize.
No worries. If you heard that, then it's worth clarifying.
Go ahead, Alex.
I think this also piggybacks again off of, I'm not trying to bring that up either, but I had a conversation with Joe in Members General a couple mornings ago, just about like people's like reception to being in like a losing side of it, like interaction in general. And I think obviously that's going to be at a larger scale when it comes to like raiding or, any hostile RP in between groups. And I think it needs to be addressed, but again, I don't think we need to slap a paragraph or two about group interactions. We should all like be able to uphold any standards like that ourselves for members and things like that. So, but I definitely think that discussing people just, hey, take a loss every now and again. It's okay, like we're not doing anything competitive. There's no money on the line for anybody here in any interaction at all. We're all doing this for fun. And I think people just need to be more receptive to losing in some interactive situations, and I think it'll get a lot better.
Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to add to this?
I guess I'll just go back and say it one last time too. It's
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean it's really broad topic, I guess. I don't think I worded it very well, but anyway, it's yeah. I mean, holding I think just or bringing more awareness for the overarching community that hey, we're all in this as one big community, just trying to make some fun stories and enjoy it, have a good time. And you know, I'm not saying my group's perfect either. I don't think I'm sure there's been plenty of instances where we could have done things better. We could have helped do a better story out of certain interactions and actions. And I think that's just something to try to remember for everybody. That's solo group, whatever it be, new to the server even. If you're in here listening, I think it's just I think just being mindful, remembering that we're all in one part of one big community, just trying to have fun. It's not all about basically it's you versus the world. Essentially, not having that mindset, and that can be hard to get rid of sometimes. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
All right. If that is all for this topic, then we can move on to the next one. Well, the next one, which actually has the presenter here, which is Flux. And this is quite directed at staff, so take it away.
Yeah, it's just a general question to the team working on Livonia about when we can expect another update on that. I don't know how long it's been since that teaser video came out, but
I put an update in the Lug General chat just the other day. It's basically, I just need to finish up the last of the cosmetics, and
oh shit, okay,
we're ready to go. This is we made a teaser 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Keep in mind the server has been in the works since like December.
Okay.
Yeah, this stuff takes time, and we have lots of talented folks who are giving their time, and we're basically just in the final stretch. My hope is that folks can just chill out, because I won't lie, looking at Lug General does stress me out a bit. Especially this one guy, Hex Ganarian. I know it's all in good fun,
Dude,
we do that every day.
you don't have to moderate that thing. That stresses me out.
Yeah,
Crazy.
What
People
day
are
are we on?
fiending for it, and
I think that's pretty funny. But
all I can say is that if we are able to get a showcase video of the server ready to go, you will more than likely know the release date at the end of said video.
all right, thank you.
Just really quick, I'll just give a rough overview of what to expect. A custom dug central loot economy tailored for Livonia, 10 plus custom areas as well as reworked areas, 35 plus map edits, and we're looking to have all unique Livonia cosmetics to separate it as much as possible from the Chernard server, because we would like to foster potentially a new community with this server. We would like to see the Lug folk come back in some form, because we know that there are some folk itching to get back to whatever they're doing years prior. Or if they just want to start something new, that's cool too. I think, for instance, like the in-game map, we'd like to see map generations made for that as well. But we'll see, depending on server popularity, because we will probably have to deal with, I guess, the Barnby server in some form, because people are going to immediately assume that we're just trying to steal members, which is definitely not the case. He can have all the folks he wants.
John Hancock asked, will Livonia have a whitelist period?
At the start, I'm not entirely certain yet of that. That's up to staff. However, I'm aware that our priority system will be on Lug.
Honestly, I think yeah, just having the priority active, I think, for log. Like we don't want to clip the wings of the server, because if some people see, oh, new servers online, and then they click play and then they can't get into it, I think we want to have as big a launch as we can, because the more people you get coming in, the more they play on it, the more chance it is that they're gonna get something going on there and find some degree of attachment.
And I also want to ask folk to temper expectations. We all know how just alone a mod update can happen for the server and the issues that involve it. Not even talking about a DayZ update. This is a new server, so there are going to be some bumps in the road that we're going to have to figure out as we play it.
Right, I'll put that in the notes.
Yeah, sit tight, folks. I'm getting them done when I can.
Wonder what the odds are that that fucking server is gonna go live as I start my next fucking year of college. That would be fucking sod's law. But anyway, I think that quite conclusively answers this topic. I've been waiting for log for like fucking months. Anyway. I guess now we can start working on the topics where the people weren't here. And so the first one is going to be Blake's reaching out and asking how people have been experiencing the new Doug priority queue progress. He reached out to me saying that he's not going to make it today, but the main thing he wanted to say on this topic was he really wants to know how the priority queue appears from white names, specifically non-members. But obviously he's looking for any kind of insight from anyone on like how they've been finding the queue system. Go ahead, Flux.
So a good portion of our non-whitelisted members have kind of just gone slightly inactive. They're not nearly playing as much. I feel like they're still able to get in if they really want to. It just takes a lot longer, which is, I think, one of the downsides for whitelist, and it's just kind of like, I guess the attitude towards it, because no one wants to sit in a queue for however long. Just play for a little bit and like, I don't know, maybe just not have any interactions, because sometimes there are days like that, and when they can't even get in the game, it's just them discouraging. But again, it's just part of the whitelist perks. So
Dan is next in queue. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Your mic might be. All right, okay. John Hancock is next. Your mic might be pulling from the wrong source. That's my recommendation.
The most I've heard from non-whitelisted members is it takes them an hour to 2 hours to get in, but that's pretty much what it was like before PrioQ was, anyways. So I don't think there's too big of a deal with it. I mean, it's like what Matt just said in the chat. It should encourage whitelist membership.
My hammer might be slightly out of date by a week, but right now there are 58 unwhitelisted players on the server out of 90, and there's a 12-man queue.
Oh, I'll note that down as well.
And just like another note, like how they did it is amazing. Like you don't have to pay for it because there's some people that can't buy it, so it should really encourage just being a whitelisted member and going through that process.
Wait, thanks, Blake. Is Blake here? Oh, is it Blake that made the thing, or? Because I saw Matt say thanks, Blake. But yes, Prio good. Ah, so Blake was the one that made it. Hell yeah.
And he's constantly working to improve it whenever he has time.
Oh, Blake made it. Boo Prio then. Nah, I think Prio is a very, very good addition. Good at encouraging whitelist membership as well. Obviously, since we stopped doing whitelist days, I mean, I guess aside from the first couple of days of wipe, I think it's been a pretty good way to incentivize people becoming members. Well, we've got some perspective, a few perspectives from people speaking about their white named friends. Does anyone else want to share their perspectives on it? Any kind of feedback here is welcome. That's what Blake wanted me to underline and incentivize. Just feedback, good. Particularly from white names, but that was the main sort of people he wanted to know from. But all and any is welcome. How surprising it is that amongst the members enjoy the member priority queue. I never would have thought about that. Okay. If we're done with this topic, then I think we do be heading on to Gretchen's, unless we have anyone else that's fucking shown up, being Greg, Riker, or Gretchen. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, Gretchen's topic, which is kind of vaguely similar to what we were talking about earlier, but not really. Discuss the frequency of reposting notices in group recruitment to vie for the top spots. I guess this means people that are... Oh, go ahead, Harvey.
Yeah, is this a thing? Because I don't see that. I mean, yeah, there's one got reposted or whatever for Ghost of Trinaris, but it seems
It's
like
more
they just
common that
reformatted it.
bump.
People are just commenting, right? Like they're not
You
going
can
like
change.
they're not just going bump like, hey, bump my thing. I'm not. Somebody's like, hey, are you guys still recruiting? Oh yeah, we are. Come see us in
People
game.
are bumping, Harvey. You
Are
don't
they?
notice because
Okay.
they delete it afterwards.
Oh,
Because
well,
they're
that's
ashamed of it.
yeah, they should be then.
Are they bumping the individual thread, or are they making a new thread?
They're bumping the thread, yeah.
Okay, well, you can change your sort in view to date posted instead of last replied. That just alleviates the issue entirely. Because regardless, people are going to comment on a post. But yeah, people are being malicious like that.
Sorry, repeat that.
Don't we have logs track that?
Yeah, you
If
guys
you go to
see
the top of the
deleted
threads,
posts?
you see sort in view. Just sort by date posted instead of recently active.
Okay, that's user side. Okay, well, people can do that if they want to.
But if people are going out of their way to post and then delete the comment, I'm pretty sure we can track that.
Yeah, we can track it, and we are tracking it.
Yeah, if they do it, delete their thing.
I'm not sure that's current policy.
Make an example.
You
Give them a
haven't got to
warning, and if they
convince
do it
me.
again, delete
There's
it.
two sides to this. There's one that it's a bit cringe, and the other side is we had an earlier discussion in this meeting about how group recruitment was getting flooded with shite and that real groups were getting pushed down. So it feels like a little bit of a disconnect for me to then remove one way for people to bump their posts back up above all the AI stuff that people are asking we delete.
Well, it should be something meaningful, like if there's an update to their situation or their status, or like something more than just bump and then delete it. You know what I mean?
As a personal user of the Discord, I agree with you. As a staff member, I'm saying I don't think the current policy is that we stop people from bumping.
Then change the policy.
Yeah, maybe something to think about.
Yuri also queued up. Go ahead, Yuri. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Oh, mic's not working. The joys. Well, does anyone else, while Yuri tries to fix their mic, does anyone else have anything they'd like to say?
I guess my only question on that would be, how else would you guys want someone to like boost their group post?
Flux, you're next in queue.
I don't know if I would really consider it, I guess, boosting or bumping it, but putting like, group pictures and whatnot in recruitment is pretty common, and maybe that's just basic way without doing the little thing and just putting a message and then deleting it. You can just use pictures and show that you're active on Doug still and you're working together as a group. And like I've been working on a Daisy editor image of all our members gathered around like the castle or whatever, and just we're gonna put that in recruitment, or just other images of us all together in the recruitment to get a better image of what it is instead of just our logo. Just stuff like that can in a way boost it without just the only purpose is boosting it.
That sounds like a really good idea, actually. Posting like good screenshots, like stories, videos, any kind of content you make. I think that is a fucking great idea and an excuse to bump your group recruitment. Just be like, hey, come and join me. Maybe just don't have AK's missing mags if you're doing shit in Daisy Editor, though. That
Yeah,
gave me a
exactly.
laugh 1 or 2 times.
Anybody needs
Yeah,
help with
but
Daisy Editor? Let me know.
yeah, but like just filling it with content instead of random messages is a good way to do it, so people actually see what your group is like other than that random image. Yeah.
Dan also queued up. Hoping Dan's mic is working now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I actually really like the idea of having the pictures or content. As a newer member to Doug, I've been on the server less than a month, and I've been actively playing for like a week and a half. It's been helpful for me to see that bump, to give like, as I've gotten used to the server and interacting with people and seeing people in game. It's been fun to see posts tick through, so I could like, oh, this is this person who I met 3 days ago or whatever, and make it more meaningful. But I think requiring it to be like real content would be beneficial. And I think if it's not real content, capping the frequency to like once every 2 weeks or something.
Right. Make an AI that auto bumps the posts. Oh. Yuri just wanted to say, I've seen it happen a couple times where people boost their posts by changing the post title. Usually there's a reason for it, but sometimes they just change the title to something with the same meaning. Example, group name open to group name open. With like different capitalization. Back to IC only. Right. The Doug group recruitment wipe, the Doug bracket group recruitment wipe upcoming, making the clickbait YouTube video now.
The server wiped all of its groups? Question.
The mod team wiped out all of the groups. Admin abuse? Question mark, exclamation mark.
This 11-year-old community server nuked.
The nuke came from the admin skybase. We knew it was real the whole time. Anyway, I think that's us done. So, next topic, unless we have had either a Greg or a Riker show up. No. Discussion on the seeming rise of low-effort false flagging and impersonation. Go ahead, Tommy.
If people are doing low effort false flagging, then that's their problem. Deal with it in game. Don't see why it needs to be a community meeting suggestion. It's an in-game thing. They're doing a shit impression. Oh well, just kill them for it. Find out who it is. Like Matt said, it's never ever done well. It's always poor. They're always missing something, and they would do something wrong.
British Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, so first off, like obviously it's a very, very valid strategy and shouldn't not be allowed. You know, it's something that would make sense, and I think it's good that it happens. But at the moment, it seems to be getting way out of hand with no context whatsoever, and I think in some cases it's bordering on breaching the "don't be a jerk" rule. With some groups, you know, just getting targeted over and over again by random people just for the sake of, well, they're the good guy group, so let's do this and pretend to be them, and then other instances, well, there was one last night where Waldorf was raided and the note was left saying, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm going to assume this wasn't damn. And it says, thanks for all your stuff, damn, in lowercase letters, which to me wasn't damn because it would be capital letters and they'd write a better note, you know. I just think there's a lot of this without context just for the sake of it. And I just think that it needs to be looked at. Yeah, that it should happen 100%. We should be allowed to do it, but context and reason, I think, is needed.
Within the rules, no?
Yeah, I mean, it should be allowed, but
yeah, so I don't think that needs to be looked at.
It sounds like Greg's post probably lacks context that we don't have.
Yeah, also that. I agree.
Because I could argue that, yeah, there is probably something low effort. Like if somebody's wearing somebody's armband and just spouting slurs over the radio or in a megaphone at somebody's base, yeah, that's extremely low effort.
I mean, like context, for example, like, I mean, if Dan want to false flag the Fireflies, great, that should happen, right? You know, that's kind of the history between them, and that's. But then, like, we need to get a random group of people just going around causing mayhem who haven't even met the Fireflies, for example. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying this is happening. Then I think this falls under the don't be a jerk rule. This is just causing griefing, really, in a way. You know, you're griefing a group without knowing that, you know, you don't know how much this is happening to a certain group, and it can get a bit much. And if there's no reason behind it, then it doesn't add anything.
Flux is... Oh, T is next in queue, actually.
So I'm looking at Greg's thing about this. I know there has been a jump in the false flagging. Most of it has been coming from a certain group, but I don't know if we should really go based off of their recruitment thing, but they say, well,
seriously, name them.
It's the vermin. It's their thing. They said that in their group recruitment that they wear the trophies of their enemies. I wouldn't necessarily call it false flagging, but yeah, in a way, I guess it is. You just gotta. I mean, it's their thing. It's pretty it's their distinct little trophy collection thing. And you're gonna see it. I mean, I wouldn't call it false flagging at all.
That sounds almost like regime. The whole like taking armbands from people they've killed and wearing them around like they're their own.
Yeah, I just wish Greg was here so he could kind of get further in on what he's trying to say about the false flagging. Yeah, that's all I had to say on that. I'm guessing that's just what I'm guessing because I've been hearing a lot about it lately.
So for those of you watching at home, if you suggest a topic, please be here to fucking present it. Anyway, Flux is next in queue.
I guess I don't know if this is in a way false flagging, but like lying about if you're gonna leave a note, you should say who you really are. It just the note is the only way to lead back to like who it is and who I guess actually pay for it, because there was confusion in character about it, and I just we feel bad out of character for doing that because we that note said it was them, but it was not. So how are we supposed to know though? Obviously, we can go find out in game, but then it's just like, oh, well then, just there was no need for the confusion. Like, it just sucks to be that group that would be punished because someone is just being a jerk. Because that note, I'm just going to be repeating myself, but that note is the only way to possibly figure out who did it. And lying about who the person that did it is yeah, like Matt's saying, it's low effort. It's
Go ahead, Tommy.
I wouldn't see it as low effort. For example, if we were paid to raid someone, but being paid by someone else, let's say FL are being paid by ORCC to raid Dam, and then we say regards from Orc, right? But we did the raid.
That makes sense.
But we've seen the raid, and say we've been seen doing the raid, right? So say you for example have seen me with a green armband raiding, and then you go and see the note saying regards from Orc. That's not low effort raid.
Yeah,
that's not us hiding what we've done, is it?
I'm saying in the instance where it happened to us, it was a low effort, and there can be times when it isn't low effort, like how you mentioned that as a possibility. But I think in the instance where it is just simply raiding, leaving a note without any other form of roleplay behind it when you're just lying about who it is, I guess, I don't know if that would be, like, not technically, that's not a rule break or anything, but it just should not be happening, I think.
I don't know.
I see where he's coming from. It's the leaving something open to them returning the either with equal force or something less.
Yeah, just some kind of story to actually, go to that person, create conflict, and it not be the wrong people, I guess. For me, I want my hostile interactions to, like, make sense in a way.
Right. Do we have anything else we'd like to say on this topic? Yeah, one of the rules I always followed on Mac was always just I sign my notes with my name, everyone. And if I forget to sign a note with my name, I leave another note next to it with signed Mac, Dark as Midnight, or whatever.
When did you last do that, Dean?
Probably a year ago, I don't know. Because Mac died, and I've still not wrote the story about him dying.
It's not true, apparently.
It was the Boom Boom event, whenever that was. That was when Mac died. The one where we, like, went and blew, like, holes in, like, every single fucking base, because we had, like, a bunch of explosives. But, next topic comes from Riker, and I have been also sent a thing by Blake that he wants to say on this topic, because he did some digging on it. This topic is discuss the removal of Summer Chernarus as we near somewhat closer to fall due to perceived effects on server performance. Though the message that I got from Blake is I downvoted the Summer Chernarus suggestion, which was probably wrong of me because I had a look at it, and the mod doesn't include any code that runs on the server, and the server doesn't do any graphics rendering. It's entirely a client mod that changes the way the grass renders and replaces some textures. Same goes for other seasonal maps. When I tested, there was no correlation between server performance and the mod. I'd include the graph, but I'm on a train and can post it when I get home a few hours from the meeting. We should limit this topic to discussions about the gameplay effects, fun, or impact on people's FPS, which are valid, not server performance, which has been getting worse due to changes by BI.
Thanks, Blake. The server should already have server churners gone, even though it's still there. It's just whenever Diesel has time to do it. So whenever he's around, it'll be gone. So I would expect the next couple days it's going to go away.
Okay,
Will it return? Probably not. If we can make our own. Otherwise, we'll just stick with the vanilla churners throughout the summer duration. Basically, overall, it seems like the feedback is that, unfortunately, on client sides for folk, the performance is just not that great. As well as that, there's a couple of design choices made with the mod that overall people just don't like. Kind of, it's a nice concept, but in practice, it's annoying for folk. And Brazel, I'm going to tell you that is how DayZ renders stuff now. A lot of these things that you guys are bringing up are in the base game and have been since Sakal was added.
Yes, if you're struggling for like rendered like your FPS, definitely check whatever DayZ has set your I can't remember what it like terrain, object, view distance, and all that shit too. Because you used to have to mess with that in your config file, but now it's just like a menu thing, and you can go low, medium, high, very high, extreme on all of those sliders.
If you're on anywhere of a mid to low end machine, you should not be playing on extreme settings, because they have increased it majorly since the addition of Shakal. It's went from like 4,000 to 10,000 major values, and that means you're loading in a lot more stuff.
I noticed this when I was playing on Sakal, and I jumped in like a boat to go to one of the outlying islands, and I was like, oh shit, my view distance is on medium, and I went from being able to like maybe see the end of the ice sheet in front of me to being able to see literally every island within view, and I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, that might be having an impact on some people's PCs, which will not be helping.
For me personally, my FPS is negligent in terms of difference between vanilla and summer. But again, that's my PC. I can't speak for others. I digress, though. We'll be reverting back to vanilla Chernarus ASAP. This does not include a wipe. So my suggestion to folks is, if you've been putting your stuff in a sneaky spot that in reality isn't very sneaky, you might want to get to it. Here in the fall and winter months, I believe we'll try the late fall, early winter mod again. People seem to enjoy that very much. When it comes to Winter Chernarus V2, I don't see us pursuing that this year. People appreciate the other one much more.
That is pretty cool. The late fall map is pretty neat. Catching up on my notes here as well, because I'm adding in the Blake stuff and then this.
We're moving from 3 maps to 2.
Harvey is next in queue, unless I missed someone. Yeah, Harvey in queue. Go ahead.
This one's maybe a little bit of a tangent, but has there what's the deal with the performance, especially like the Northeast right now? Like you get a 30-40 FPS drop just hitting the Northeast.
Lots of players, lots of storage.
That's all it is. Just
yes,
try to load everything up there. All right.
I'll also say I've heard from people even outside of Doug, even people running like vanilla servers, like Spaggy, saying that they've been having some pretty major performance issues, crashes, and shit like that throughout 1.28, and that they're hoping a lot of these issues are going to be resolved in 1.29 when it reaches stable eventually.
This has been ongoing since 1.26, I think. Unfortunately, It's just FPS for servers have been dropping, so that's been causing network issues, crashes, or disconnection from the server.
So like one problem compounding another problem kind of thing.
Just well, yes and no. Unfortunately, I think the issue with the Northeast, if you're talking about that, is just that there are lots of groups all clustered within one small network bubble. You're loading in all their storage, which means you're loading in each individual 3D model that is in a storage container, not just the models that are on the world. And if there are players there as well, you are loading their storage inside their player bodies as well. It's just a whole lot of stuff for your computer to have to handle, which is just an unfortunate design choice.
Flux is next in queue.
Yeah, as living up there, I have gone south recently and enjoying the extra FPS. I think Sarge or Doc said it's just a smaller area for a lot of towns to be really close to each other. So of course there's going to be more bases because all the towns are closer. I think within like a small triangle, there's Novo, Krasnostav, the airfield, and then there are 4 groups that are active bases and whatnot within there. So of course, all those models like Desync was saying. And plus, I think if your PC is struggling with on the extreme settings, turning them down will help a lot. Also, probably a fix. And also the Novi log with it being an entirely map edited town. And I feel like living right next to it, I don't know for sure if it's the exact root of some of the problems, but it definitely contributes to it.
You are correct. We've had our map makers look at the file as best as possible to reduce as many assets as they can, and I think they've done like a 40% reduction in assets to help with FPS.
Matt is next in queue.
All right, can you guys hear me? I'm on my phone.
Yes.
All right. So I haven't played on Doug in I played once in the last month and a half, but I've seen some streams and I've seen some bases, and I will take full responsibility that staff has not been as active at doing base checks as we would like to be. This week I will be doing a base check, and a few people in groups that are going to be upset that I'm going to tell you to take some of your walls down and storage and shit, because some of you are way overbuilt. A lot of I see a lot of just hoarding of shit. It's getting to the point where it's getting out of hand. I wouldn't say it's as bad as I've ever seen it, but from what I've seen just from watching streams and checking in on people, it's some of you are just you just don't know how to control yourselves. But there will be a base check done sometime this week when I get some time, because it takes a while. I have to segment the map and quadrants and go through each one. It takes hours. Just be aware of that if you're like, shit, we don't need half this stuff, just fucking burn it. If it's trash, it's trash. If you don't need 70 tents filled with duct tape, you just don't need it. So just please police yourselves, make it easy on us. I don't want to have to tell you, I don't think any other staff member wants to tell you to stop building or stop making storage. You don't need 20 tents if you're a community camp. 10 is fine, half of them are empty anyways. Save the good shit, obviously, but if there's a bunch of trash, if you got a car with fucking 80 packets of codeine, you just get rid of it. You don't need, there's no point. Stop hoarding shit.
Truth nuke. Anyway, do we have anything else to say about this? Because I feel like
I'll tell him.
fucking get out the whip. Tell them to get their fucking shit together.
You guys know who you are, all right? Don't act like you don't know. Yeah, I know there's a few people in here that I'm gonna be having conversations with by the end of the week, and you're gonna be like, what? What?
I'll tell him.
What do you mean we don't need fucking 13 PU scopes for the 5 members we have? What?
Excuse me, what about my second to tertiary backup PU scope?
PID. It's my PID. I need my 14 PU scopes. But yeah, please police yourselves a little better. Clear out your shit.
But my sewing kit barrel. What the fuck, man? How will I live without my sewing kit barrel?
Chicken feather tent.
You mean I don't need 60 lockpicks?
Wait, did I hear 60 lockpicks? If Doink was here, he'd be taking offense to that, because that motherfucker would go around and lock the entirety of NWAF. At least he
No,
uses them.
we have so many tents, it's insane. I try. Okay.
Can't even walk through your guys' barn. It's
I'll
terrible.
Why don't you let me into your base and I'll try a little harder?
I will let you know if I fly over there and I see that and there's just shit in them. I'm gonna put the shit in another tent and I'm just gonna start deleting.
Threat or promise?
Promise that
I'm not gonna put the shit in another tent. I'm just gonna start deleting.
yeah. Joe will start deleting. I'll be a little nicer.
Good cop, bad cop, and slightly less bad cop.
It depends
At least
on
I'm
yeah,
self-aware.
if Glenn shows up to do it, he's just deleting everything by accident.
Well, do we have anything else we'd like to say on this topic? And also, I open the floor if anyone else wants to suggest any other topics that they didn't have time to suggest beforehand, or anything that's just kind of came to mind now. Oh, Desync, go ahead.
I just wanted to throw this out here now before, I guess, wait later in like October, November, December, whenever the new DLC arrives. I'm under the impression that Doug will not be looking towards a Nasrani server. Is that how you pronounce it?
Nasdara.
Sorry.
Nasdara, yeah.
However, if there are features that can be taken from it, such as cosmetics or the new mechanics, such as the repairing of certain objects in the world, we'll see about bringing that over if it makes sense. Otherwise, I mean, at the least, I can maybe see a server being put up for like a month, just so if players who are buying the DLC want to go try it out. But I don't see anything long-standing.
I guess on that topic, please say we're getting the clothing items that they brought in, even the Sakal exclusive ones that they brought in, and they're bringing in 1.29, like the pilot
Not
jacket.
all of them.
Ooh.
Because some of them don't make sense for us to have on the Shannara server. But when, for instance, early winter, late fall mod is added, then of course we always have our winterized CLE. So you'll probably see some of those Sakal specific items being added to the world. But like the pilot jacket, for instance, I don't see why that wouldn't be added. The heavy labor jacket, I don't see why that wouldn't be added. But something like the heavy military winter boots, that's probably going to be reserved for the winter CLE.
I take it probably the same with those like little fur boots where you can store the knife in as well. Winter
Possibly.
CLE, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see when the time comes.
Fair enough. I just figured I'd ask that. So.
No, I got something for Desync. I'm just curious. Desync, when we did that like little couple day playtest before wipe for the island rework, is that still something that's being worked on?
No,
Or
due to the reaction from Novulug and the performance, more or less looking at looking at Skalisty Military as an addition, probably isn't best for Doug. So we're going to retire that.
It makes sense, but I'm sad to see that it's no longer in consideration.
What about the bunker that was in before wipe? Is there any chance we see that?
I think based on how the game loop works for Chernarus, no.
Copy. All right, just wanted to clarify.
But there will be a bunker on Livonia.
Yes.
Yeah, how that works, you guys will find out.
Oh god, I've got so much stuff to add to these fucking notes. I've even got some things that I missed. Go ahead, Flux.
I think there's like a little teaser bunker door that you can't do anything with up by Kaminsk military base. Is that also not gonna have anything? If there's no
you don't know
bunker?
how to use it. That's what it sounds like to me.
You can open that door.
What? Oh shit! I'm about
Find
to
out
run
in
up to
game.
military base Kaminsk. All right. All right. Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, I've even got some places like noted down in these bloody notes where I need to go back to the fucking VOD once I'm done and just clarify some things that I missed. But okay, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Again, if I don't know, staff has anything they'd like to say to the community while you're here, then feel
the
free.
budget money. As far as I'm aware from Diesel, we are good for the year. Even
Hell
still,
yeah.
we are always going to ask, if possible, please donate, because again, once we have enough to cover for the year, but that means we don't have enough to cover for next year. So I'm always going to need donations, and we always try to push folk for, no matter how small it is, a recurring donation. That is what helps us more so. But if you want to buy merch or just give a single donation, that's always accepted regardless.
We'll make sure to put
Also
that.
donate to my PayPal.
I'll make sure to put that in the notes as well. Donate to Dog Smile. Anyway, if that's all the topics that we've got to cover here, then I suppose you are all dismissed. I'm going to go finish off these notes, upload the fucking video, and pray that nothing's wrong with it. But if something's wrong with the video, at least we've got the notes. It's a
Thanks,
good little
Dad.
contingency. T has queued. And then, yeah, T has queued.
Fuck. So Matt brought it up a long time ago, but with the implementation of PrioQ, is there a possibility that they'd start possibly taking away the whitelist from people and be a little bit more active on, like, I don't know how to say it other than like maybe making the whitelist something people have to actually achieve and work for?
I will let you know that's always been an option, is like whitelist as being taken away, is if we see someone not adhering to like the expectations that we think a whitelist member should have. If they're doing some bullshit on the server, or they're just acting crazy, then yeah, we will remove whitelist. We have recently and in the past removed whitelist from people. If we feel that you're not representing Doug the way that a whitelist member should represent Doug.
My second
yeah,
half of that.
That has always been a punishment. It's just when I brought it up in members general, I was just saying that I think it should be used more.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I think it should be used more as well.
Because obviously we ban people, but I think with PrioQ being added to the perks of that, I think it means more to lose your whitelist now, and to not act crazy. But yeah, it's always been on the table. I just think that we, as a staff team, should look at using it more than we have in the past. Like, there's been times where someone screwed up and we're like, it's not worth it's not as egregious as a ban. Like, we don't want them not playing on the server, but like they do need to be disciplined somehow, and like we go back and forth. I just think like it's a good middle ground, and it's something that like it means something to people now. Not that it didn't before, but there's a lot more attached to it.
Kind of for those that don't really put like stories in and stuff like
well,
that.
I'm not gonna like, if you want to play Doug and be a part of the community and you don't want to write a story, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna, like, no one. I don't think anyone's gonna punish people for not participating in certain aspects, but it's more for like if you're just being like hypothetically saying.
Well, that's not really what I meant. I meant more like for the people, like it's more of a punishment for those who don't really pay attention to the Reddit and all those. They're kind of just in the community as just kind of for the community, I guess, in a way.
I got you. But yes, I just think that we should. I think we will, since like talking to staff, that we will be using that as more of a like, hey, you're screwing up. We're gonna give you like a, say, I'm not saying this happens, but like say you're losing whitelist, but you can reapply in 3 months. Like, if it's something that we think like if you do something that is just ridiculous and we think that that's a proper punishment, you know what I mean? Like, It depends. It's everything situational with Doug. It's like no two things are the same. We look at every situation with, you know, like, hey, this situation happened in this instance. It's not like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it better than that, but
Kind of maybe as kind of like a spanking for people being a little bit too toxic in like the Discord and stuff like that is kind of what I was
yeah, kind of a kick in
wondering
the
about.
ends to be like, hey, like you're supposed to be part of the community and contribute and improve it, or be a part of it at least, you know, and like represent it properly.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of my question. Thank you.
Right, I got that noted down as well. Okay, so as long as people don't have anything else they'd like to bring up, hopefully if they do we can get that knocked out before like half the people in the channel leave. But if not for that, then I think we are done here. You are all dismissed. I guess I'll see you all at the next community meeting. I will be paying attention though on when a lug emerges, and I'm excited for that. But goodbye. I should probably put myself back on push to talk before I fucking forget.